Clarendon father charged for murder of teenage daughter found burnt and decomposing at home. The father of 14-year-old Shantana Sargent, whose burnt and partially decomposed body was found behind her home in Clarendon, has been charged with murder. Lawrence Sargent, 46, has been in custody for weeks, was charged on Wednesday. His court date is being finalized. The police report that Santana was reported missing at the Christiana police station on Thursday, October 3rd, and an investigation was immediately launched. On Monday, October 6, a search of Santana's house was conducted, during which decomposed skeletal remains were found in bushes at the back of the premises. Following this discovery, police went in search of her father, who had fled the area. He was apprehended in Ohlaba, St. Catherine on Friday, October 10. A post-mortem examination confirmed that the remains belong to Santana Sargent. Millions lost in Montego Bay warehouse fire, negligence suspected. A fire believed to have been set carelessly destroyed a warehouse along River Bay Road in Montego Bay on Thursday morning. Eyewitnesses report seeing a garbage fire in the vicinity of the warehouse before the building became engulfed into flames. According to the fire brigade, it received a call about 12:15 a.m. and responded with 2 units from the Montego Bay station. When firefighters arrived, they reported they saw the entire building ablaze. They used 3 jets to try to contain the blaze, which they managed to do after nearly 2 hours of fighting. Investigation says that some items concerning custom brokerage were destroyed in the interior. The loss is estimated at $50 million, and it's uncertain if the building was and its contents were insured. The firefighters were kept busy throughout the day. There was also a fire in Valley Heights in the city that resulted in 1 individual being rendered homeless. The fire, which started just after 11 a.m., partially destroyed the home. 1 unit from the Montego Bay station responded to the blaze. Investigations continue into both incidents. Prime Minister Holness says he hears cries of babies in communities not yet reached. I hear the cry of every baby that is now hungry in a community that is not yet reached. It goes to bed with me. That statement was made by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness during a press briefing as he assured that relief supplies are being distributed to residents affected by Hurricane Melissa, noting that some communities remain marooned since the passage of hurricane last week. Dr. Holness noted that shortly after the disaster, there was a scramble for aid. He said the country is out of phase and systematical response will take over. Dr. Holness stressed that a sustainable response is needed. He said the Jamaica Defense Force (JDF) and Office of the Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management (ODPEN) must work together.
In the initial few days, there was a scramble. And that scramble essentially was, my hand is up, I need help, and the system trying to respond to the loudest voices or the most frantic wave of hands. As of today, we are out of that phase. Now, a systematic response will take over in the relief effort. And you would see that the government has made certain actions to ensure that there is a systematic response. Let me say it in another way. I hear the cry of every baby that is now hungry in a community that is not yet reached. It goes to bed with me. And I have to think of it in this way. Do I try myself to jump on a helicopter with a package to reach the baby that is crying? Or do I try to develop a system to get more helicopters in, to get more packages put together, to get more supplies in, to get more support to be able to reach those babies that are crying? While at the same time saying to Keith and Darrell and Minister Tufton, get out there in the scramble. And so that is what you have been seeing. People individually going out there trying to relieve the human suffering. But that is not a sustainable response. The sustainable response is what you would see the government doing now. One, we have to streamline ODPEM, both as the Office of Disaster Preparedness, which that function was done, that phase is over, and now we are in the phase of the emergency management, which is the relief. Now, let's just be clear. The government can't stand up ODPEM with its own parallel structure of having all the people that would be necessary to pack the relief items, to load the trucks, to move the trucks to where they have to be stored, to clear the roads, all those little minor functions that make the big service works, and keep them and pay them throughout the year for every year, even when there is no disaster. Where that capability exists is in the JDF. It is a multifunctional capability. The JDF gives the legs and arms to the management functions of the emergency. So it makes sense that there is seamless coordination between the JDF and ODPEM. And therefore, you would recognize the movement of ODPEM to OPM, where the JDF is already under the portfolio of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Mobile gas stations to be deployed in Western Jamaica. Energy Minister Darrell Voss has stated that mobile fuel stations will be deployed to Western Jamaica to provide fuel to citizens next Monday, November 10. This after several gas stations sustained damage during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Speaking at a press briefing, Mr. Voss said the mobile stations will go to specific locations recommended by the Jamaica Defence Force and the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM. He noted that most gas stations are reopening and have made arrangements to provide fuel to the hardest hit parishes.
Our fuel supply network is stabilizing quickly, with full service resumed at West Indies Petroleum from October 27. Most gas stations are opening back in the West, and I'm happy to say for those areas that are still not getting the regular service from the petrol stations, on Monday we have 10 mobile fuel stations that will go out to specific areas guided to me by the JDF and ODPEM that will be able to set up and operate on generators, and will also be able to sell kerosene, which is very, very important at this time. But I expect that based on the report, most petrol stations are reopening and have made arrangements to be able to supply, especially in the hardest hit areas. We are arranging for police escorts to navigate the traffic and also for security reasons as well.
JCF maintains strong presence in Montego Bay. Commanding Officer for St. James Senior Superintendent of Police Aaron Samuels says the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is maintaining a strong presence in Montego Bay and surrounding areas to keep public order as recovery efforts continue following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. We have pushed out our persons, beat officer patrol, and other resources that have currents at our disposal. While we are not operating at 100% capacity, we're trying our best to ensure that we still have presence within the township, Samuels told reporters in an interview. He noted that assistance has been received from the JCF Specialized Operations Unit and the Jamaica Defence Force. The commanding officer said the police have been deployed to critical areas including gas stations, where large crowds have been gathering to access fuel. There's a bit of chaos there, so we have to be deploying persons at these points to ensure that there is order. We still also have to deploy persons to escort fuel trucks and emergency units that need to be refueled. That's a major part of what we're doing now to ensure that the relief efforts can go on, he told reporters. He appealed to the public to give priority to essential workers and vehicles seeking fuel. When police officers ask persons to hold on and give these persons priority, it is to ensure that we can push as fast as possible to aid process, Samuels emphasized. He said the police have also been asked to assist with maintaining order at supermarkets reopening and noted that resources are limited. I am going to be honest, we cannot assist everyone. We'll have patrols within this space, but we will not be able to have a statistic present at every supermarket. We're encouraging operators of these supermarkets to employ private security to do so, he advised. Samuels also acknowledged damage to police infrastructure including the Barnett Street Police Station, which he described as a hub of the city. That station has suffered some damage. They are without full roof, and this has been hampering them as well. Quite a bit of those officers have lost their homes and roofs. We are not at 100%, but we're grateful that we're still able to work and serve the people of St. James, he noted. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.